Welcome to the College Football Bros. I'm Michael Newman.
And I'm Ryan Newman.
As of recording, Bruce Feldman has reported that Oklahoma Brass is en route to Clemson to finalize a deal with defensive coordinator Brent Venables to be their next head coach. So not official again as of this recording, but it looks like it's headed that way. So let's assume the deal gets done. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the hire?
Yeah, this is a great hire for OU if indeed it does happen. I mean, obviously he was at OU for over a decade, knows exactly what OU is like, knows how to be successful there, and of course he was very good. He was very good as a defensive coordinator in both places, OU and Clemson, where he's been for 10 years now. I think he's been. So it's kind of cool for OU in the fact that if they get him, it seems like it's not like they're starting over. It's kind of just seems like it's keeping on with the same era that they've had for the last 20 years practically since Stoops, like that they're just so successful, and it seems like a guy like Venables would just be able to kind of keep that train moving.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think it's a sensible hire. Yeah, it definitely there's some good logic to it. There is some unknown because he's never been a head coach before, but you could have said the same thing about Lincoln Riley and Bob Stoops before him. So yeah, I think it definitely could work out. It's not a grand slam hire to me or anything, but it's a good hire. It makes sense.
Yep.
I will say what would get this closer to being a home run type hire is if you can pair Brent Venables, of course, arguably the best defensive coordinator in college football, with a great offensive coordinator, because that's oftentimes the question when you hire a defensive coach, who's going to run the offense. So Brett McMurphy reported this morning that Ole Miss offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby would likely be his offensive coordinator. Again, that is definitely not official, but what would you feel about something like that?
Yeah, I think Jeff Lebby would be great for him. Obviously Jeff Lebby's doing super successful at Ole Miss, but would make sense for Lebby to move on to Oklahoma, where it'd be his offense. He'd be calling the shots, and it's really just up to him. Venables would give him that autonomy. At Ole Miss right now, he's Lane Train is definitely making a lot of the calls and has a big hand in that offense. But Lebby's learned from him, and he's done really well. He's been at Baylor, did well. UCF was a good success for him. So a young, good offensive coordinator like that, I think if I'm Caleb Williams or if I'm OU's players, like offensively, I'd be like, okay, I think he'll come in and do well. And there's no reason why OU wouldn't be still a juggernaut on offense.
Yeah, I think a reason why they might not be a juggernaut right away on offense could be if Caleb Williams does leave. So I think hiring a Jeff Lebby or Joe Brady's available too. Maybe they go after him. But
Yeah.
if you get a really good offensive coordinator, maybe that will convince Caleb Williams to stay, because I think that is huge. Because with Spencer Rattler already in the transfer portal, it would really hurt to lose Caleb Williams. So
Yeah.
uh,
I think they'll get a good
that would be
offensive
that'd
coordinator.
be
Like,
I agree. I agree. So if
yeah.
that person can convince Williams to stay, then they've already, landed a amazing recruit.
Yep.
But how about, so for OU, sounds like we're both positive on the hire. What does this mean for Clemson losing Brent Venables?
Yeah. It's a concern. Obviously, so Venables is gone, the defensive coordinator. There's concern that Tony Elliott might leave, the offensive coordinator, and then the athletic directors potentially might be going to Miami. So there's some movement going on with that coaching staff potentially. And for Clemson, I mean, it's not like everything is just going to fall apart, but at the same time, Dabo has been so successful for so long now, but he's done it with pretty consistent coaching staff. There hasn't been turnover, especially at the coordinator positions. So he hasn't proven like Saban has, where Saban just seems like he loses his offensive coordinator every other year, and they seem to get better with whoever he replaces him with. Dabo hasn't proven that yet, so that's a concern. I mean, I'm not, I'm sure he'll do fine, but we haven't seen it.
Yeah, and they're coming off of, of course, a down year
Right.
relative to Clemson, of course, and they lost. Not only that, they lost Jeff Scott, of course, a couple years ago, the co-offensive coordinator. Maybe that is in part why they're having such struggles this year offensively. So I agree, it's a question mark. I think it's something to look out for. Obviously, they're still going to continue to recruit well, and they'll be able to pay a ton of money to get a great
Yeah.
offensive coordinator. By the way, a lot of Clemson fans probably wouldn't mind losing
Sure.
Tony Elliott the way their offense performed
Yeah.
this year. So it's possible they upgrade at that position. Defensive coordinator, you're not going to upgrade, but
No.
you'll still get a great coordinator, I'm sure. So
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll do it. Thanks for watching this episode of the College Football Bros. Let's hope by the time we post this, Ryan, this isn't a moot conversation, but it does look pretty sure that
I I
Venables is
I
going to be the head coach at
I
least.
think it's moot already, Mike, right?
Well, you think it's moot? You think it's already a bad
Just
conversation?
you and I having this conversation, we're mute. We're moot
Yeah.
points.
All right. Well, anyway, if you like college football, be sure to subscribe. Besides Ryan just trashing us right there, but thanks for watching. See you next time.
You've been watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and in your podcast app for college football content all year round. For bonus episodes and access to our Discord chat, join our Patreon at patreon.com/collegefootballbros. Thanks for watching.